Hello everyone, today let me introduce you the Syrebo upper limb rehabilitation robot A2. The A2 provides training to enhance the patient's upper limb speed and strength. It has 3 different training goals and also 4 different training modes, which covers the full rehabilitation cycles for upper limb rehabilitation. The device is designed for patients who have been suffered from stroke and also brain injury. Now let us take a look on this machine. This device is mainly composed with these parts: the main host, the TV screen, a control keyboard, and also an adjustable table. The table can be adjusted to different heights, which can fit 3 different training scenarios: lying down in bed, also sitting up in wheelchair, and also standing up training. So first, let us turn on the machine first. We need to turn on the 3 different parts in the A2 robot. The first one is the red button behind the television. And the second button is on the main host. Short press to start. And the last button is the side button on the table. Also short press to start. So after the activation cartoon stopped, you can see we enter the connecting page. And here we just select the device, and it will be start connecting. After it successfully connects, the machine will do the calibration automatically. After the calibration has finished, we will enter this home page. So first, let's go into the patient center. By clicking the patient, you can see here the profile we have been already done, and you can add new profile here. So you can put the patient's name, and also their gender and their phone number, and also you can change the age here. And also you can select which hand has been affected, and also the range of motion, and the disease they have got. You can also modify the patient's picture. And once you click save, you can see we have built in a new profile. And once we double click on it, we will enter the patient's personal profile. So here's the 2 buttons that we use to change the height of this table. This button makes the table goes up, and the second button makes the table goes down. The lowest height of the table can go to is 70 centimeters, and the highest we can make the table is 120 centimeters. We also have a height plan here. This means you can save 2 different height plans for next time use. So you can set your favorable height in the setting plan, and doesn't need to adjust it every time. So before we start the rehabilitation training, we need to place the patient's arm onto the host. So first, we place the patient's arm onto the arm set and fix their hand onto the handle. Also, this arm set is adjustable. So for a patient with longer arm, we can turn around the screw and slide out the arm set. In this case, we can find the right position for the patient's arm and close the screw to fix the distance. And the next step is fix the patient's hand onto the handle. So we can use this bandage to do this. So in the right one first, and then the upper one, and also the left part. So in this case, we can fix the patient's arm much more better. So the second part is the assessment. You can see we have 3 different types of assessment here. The first one is called scaled assessment. In here, depends on the patient situation, the therapist can click the corresponding condition. And you can see we'll generate a report, and this will be in the patient's own profile. I can click complete. The next one is range of motion assessment. So in this assessment, the patient needs to move the host around the table, and in this way we can test their range of motion of their upper limb. So the first one is the patient needs to move the host by themselves and see how far they can reach out. And the next one is where the patient will move the host under the help with the therapist. So in this way, the therapist will need to help the patient to push around to draw the circle and see how far they can go to. And after we click next, you can see we will generate another report and also including the area of the range of motion. And we'll save this data. And the next one is the motor control assessment. So once we clicking, so in this assessment, the patient needs to move the host to the certain target. And we can set of different action and also the repetition time and also the duration time and also the rest time. And now we can stop. This is a warm-up. You can skip it if you want. So now we'll click enter to enter the formal assessment. So after the counting down at the corner, the patient needs to push to the circle. You can see we also have the report of their force and also the completion rate. So now we have finished all the assessment and all this data will be saved. So the third part is our main exercise part. You can see we have 3 different target training and also have 4 different modes. So the first one we can try is the motor training, and I have selected passive. So in this way, the patient doesn't need to move on their own. The host will take their upper limb. And also here there's some settings. Once we click it, you can see the duration of the training time. You can set the different minutes up to 1 to 30. We can place it at 10 minutes. And also the range of motion depends on the assessment we just did. The therapist can select how the patient condition has been. And this is the trajectory. So different type of action. Also, we support customized trajectory. You can see here. So we just select add trajectory. And the space to make sure the point, and we can use the back button to delete it. So once in this part, the therapist can help the patient. So we can move the host. Place next, and then we can start. So from the beginning, we place, and it goes down, and then we just press the space button. And we can also goes down. You can just press the blank space to stop at the place you want the point to be. Here's next, and we can give this tragedy a name. For example, number 1, complete. And now you can see our new trajectory is saved here, and we can select to use this. You can also select several and choose sequential or random trajectory. Here the speed we can set. We can do it a little bit faster. We can set it 5 centimeters per second. And also the force limitation, we can change it, depends on the patient situation. And now we can enter the game. You can turn off the music if you doesn't like it. And as you can see here, the patient doesn't need to do anything here. In the passive training, the host will move automatically. And here you can see the speed and also the force the patient has been doing here. So here is the passive motor game. The next one you can see here is the assistive mode. So in this mode, the patient requires a little bit force to push towards the target, but because the patient doesn't have enough strength yet, once the machine has detected the motion, it will move and help the patient to complete the action. So the patient do a little bit movement, and the machine will just help them to finish the rest. Also, you can see we have 2 emergency stops at the side of the host. So once if the patient start to have a spasm or a cramp, the therapist can just push, and the game will stop automatically. And you can see here. So it will stop the training as soon. And after we goes out, it will start resetting. And after everything goes well, we can squeeze it out to make it pop out again. And in the host, it will say the action lamp will show blue. Make sure everything is okay now. So the second target will be coordinative training. And as you can see here, for the coordinative training, we have several games. And some of the mode wasn't available, depends on the different training. And you can see here, you can see we have little letters to show in which of the games are training specifically. So for example, for the something new, we are training the patient working memory and also the focused attention. And for example, in the let goods back means we will need to train the spatial memory and also the focused attention. And in this game, we will train the patient color recognition and also the shape recognition. And then you can see here, we have all sorts of games here to train the different situation. So first, we can start with something new. And because it's active, the patient needs to move the host by themselves. And in this way, we can change the frequency force to increase or decrease the strength of the host. And now click enter to start the game. So first, the patient needs to move towards the original icon. And then the page will refresh, and the patient needs to select what the new one. And they had to memorize each time which object is the old one and which one has come up new. So this is the active coordinative game. We can also try the aeroplane first. So for the aeroplane, it will train the patient's attention and also muscle strength. So in this game, the patient needs to move around more, then to move left and right to shoot the aeroplane. And they have moved backward to the left side. This will train the patient's strength much more. So here's the active coordinative training. And the last target is the ADL training. So in the ADL training, it is much more fits the activity of daily living and helps the patient recognize what they should do in normal daily routines. And we can choose our last mode, resistive mode. The resistive mode is similar to active mode, which means the patient need to move the host on their own. However, in the resistive mode, the host will give an opposite force. So it will train the patient's muscle much more. For example, we can do the shopping. And in the resistive mode, we can also change the force limitation to increase the strength. And now we can press enter. So in this game, it trains the patient how it should be when they go to the supermarket and what kind of things they should be doing. And you can see here, on the left is the shopping list, and the patient depends on the shopping list. The patient need to put a certain object into the basket. For now, it's 1 cabbage and 2 bananas. We can also take a strawberry and another banana. So once the food has been picked, the color will fade. So this will also train the patient's attention. So here's the supermarket shopping game. So here is all our exercise. And also we have a My exercise here. So once you go into this page, the doctor can set the training plan for this individual patient. So for example, we select the customized program. And the doctor can set which type of game they want the patient to train. For example, the passive motor training, and for 10 minutes, and we click save. And we can also maybe do an ADL training later, also for 10 minutes, and it will save. And you can see here, this means in the 20 minutes training session, the doctor doesn't have to keep going on and change the gaming for the patient. It will automatically go into the next one. And now we just click save. And we go back. So once you go back into the My Exercise page, you can just enter the game and finish the 2 games. So the fourth part is the report. So once you click in, you can see all the training report have been done by the different patient. If you only select Nick, and you can see all the report that she has been doing. And for example here, the motor control assessment. We click in print, and we also have the date here. You can have a look on the full report. For example, the task completion rate, and also the total score of the different games, and their speed and strength that have been done. For example, the peak force trend graph. Also, the therapist can put a certain note down here. And if you want to print out this report, you can connect to a certain printer and just print it. And if you think that some of the report wasn't useful, you can just select delete to delete the certain ones. So here the assessment report and also the training report. And here is my report. So this is the log in the patient's own report. And the last part is the setting. So once you have clicked in, this is just some of the general setting that you could change. For example, the sound volume. And also you can adjust the time. Okay, here is all my instruction to the cerebral upper limb rehabilitation robot A2. If you still have any questions about this, please feel free to contact us through email. Thank you for watching.